Paula threw off the blanket, flipped her damp pillow to the cool side, and lay down again. It felt a little fresher, but sleep still wouldn't come. The rare tires whispering outside and worse, her thoughts, kept her awake. Where was that late-night driver rushing? Home, or away from someone, deeper into the night? Who was waiting for him? Damn heat. Paula sighed and got up. She knew the apartment like the back of her hand, so she didn't turn on the light. In the kitchen, she went to the window. Across the street, 2 windows glowed in the dark. Someone was either waiting for their wanderer, or mourning his absence. Young leaves on the trees made it hard to see if anyone was standing by those windows. Paula switched on the small lamp and poured herself a glass of water from the kettle. She turned off the light again and looked back across the street. One window had gone dark. She drank in small sips, feeling her body cool down with the water. The linoleum chilled her bare feet pleasantly. Setting the empty glass on the sill, she returned to the bedroom, but didn't lie back in the crumpled, damp sheets. Instead, she went to the other room, lay down on the hard, narrow couch, rested her head on the small, stiff pillow stuffed with God knows what, and finally began to drift into sleep. Bitter. Bitter! The wedding guests shouted, champagne glasses in hand. Ethan stood and pulled Paula up with him. On her high-heeled wedding shoes, she was almost his height, able to look straight into his eyes instead of gazing up as usual. Ethan's eyes were full of admiration, love, and unmasked desire, and Paula leaned in, tilting her head slightly so that her veil hid her profile from the guests. 1, 2, 3. The tipsy guests chanted in unison. Her mother had always told her that everything in a family depends on the woman, that she must keep the home and be her husband's support. Paula had heroically set out to build their happiness. At first, she and Ethan did everything together. Shopping, cooking dinner, laughing and kissing, until one night they got so lost in each other that they forgot the potatoes on the stove, nearly burning them. They loved each other. It seemed it would always be that way. That they would be young and happy forever. 2 years later, Paula gave birth to a daughter, Veronica. In the beginning, her mother helped. "I'm exhausted," Paula complained that Ethan didn't help her at all. "He works hard," her mother would reply. "That's a woman's fate, to keep the house and raise the child. You can nap with Veronica during the day. But if he doesn't get enough rest, how can he work?" her mother reasoned. Paula got used to sleeping in snatches, even dozing off for a few minutes on a park bench while walking the baby. When Veronica turned 2, Paula enrolled her in daycare and went back to work. "In 5 years I'll retire," her mother dreamed. "We'll take Veronica, and you'll have another child." But after returning to her profession, Paula didn't even want to think about another baby. Ethan didn't insist either. Her mother used to say, "Men cheat because their mistresses are always dressed up and well-groomed, while their wives walk around the house in old robes with messy hair." So Paula tried to always look put together, with makeup on even at home. She'd wake up early to make herself presentable before Ethan opened his eyes. But even that didn't save their marriage. Their daughter grew up and left the nest. Paula began to notice that her husband now preferred jeans and hoodies instead of suits. He'd started jogging in the mornings, though he already looked fit. "It's fashionable," he said. "You have to keep up with the times." When she noticed lipstick marks on his shirt, she asked him straight out about the affair. Caught off guard, he mumbled something incoherent, then confessed and asked Paula to let him go. "I'm not keeping you," she said coldly. "Go, but don't come back." She packed his things herself and didn't shed a single tear. Ethan dressed slowly in the hallway, pretending to check if he'd forgotten anything, sneaking glances at her, waiting for her to break down, to beg him to stay. But Paula stood with her arms crossed, silent and unyielding. "You'll get no such satisfaction," her expression said. He left. And she went back to her room, lay on that same hard couch, buried her face in the pillow, and howled like a wounded wolf. Life lost its meaning. She cried all night and decided to swallow a handful of pills in the morning. She even took out the bottle, but before doing it, she thought to call her friend to say goodbye. The friend sensed something was wrong and rushed over. "Don't you dare," she said. "Imagine what a trophy he'll feel like when you die because of him. Everyone will think he's some kind of prize, so desirable that women go mad and poison themselves over him. Don't give him that satisfaction." So Paula didn't take the pills. Slowly, she began to recover, learning to live alone. She even discovered some joys in solitude, sleeping as long as she wanted, walking naked around the apartment, skipping makeup on weekends, cooking less. She started eating lightly, lost weight, and looked younger. With the money she saved on groceries, she bought herself new clothes. Shopping, after all, is the best medicine for a woman. Then her daughter gave birth to a son, and Paula found a new purpose in life. She loved being a grandmother. She sang lullabies, read him stories, and built sandcastles in the sandbox. Sometimes she imagined Ethan seeing her by chance, realizing what he'd lost. She tried to picture his new young wife. Did she cook him oatmeal in the mornings or just toast? Maybe he brought her coffee in bed? Her imagination conjured images of Ethan wearing a floral apron, cooking dinner, grocery shopping after work. The thought hurt. He seemed happy too. One day, while Paula was sitting in the yard with her grandson, a man about her age sat down beside her. "What weather? Feels like summer already, though it's only April. Kids play so sweetly," he said. "Is that your grandson? Looks just like you." "The girl next to him is my granddaughter, Katie. Isn't she lovely?" He didn't really expect answers. He was just glad to be heard. "You know," he went on, "when our kids were born, my wife never let me near them. She was afraid I'd mess something up. And I didn't mind. I didn't even notice them growing. I missed it all. But when my son and his wife had a baby girl, I finally understood what I'd missed. Nothing's more fascinating than watching her grow. I know more about her than her parents do." He sighed. "If I could go back, I'd do it all differently. I never helped my wife, and she never complained. My Liz passed away. I'm a widower now." The man fell silent. Paula thought about Ethan. Maybe he too had another child now. Maybe he was making up for lost time, walking a stroller, cooking porridge without lumps, changing diapers. The thought stung. He hadn't cared for his own daughter, but now he might be doting on another woman's child. "Serves me right," she thought bitterly. "I should never have listened to my mother." She suddenly felt angry, at the man, at Ethan, at herself, and took little Danny home despite his protests. The next day, she ran into the man again. This time, Paula chatted freely about Danny's latest achievements. Eventually, the man confessed that he was tired of being alone. "My wife's gone, my kids have their own lives. I'm not that old. I could start a new family," he said, looking at Paula meaningfully. He wasn't bad, pleasant, kind-looking, clearly without bad habits. Paula thought, "I'm not that old either. Someday Danny will grow up, and I'll have no one left to care for." But then she scolded herself. "What am I thinking? Another man, with his habits and memories? No, I can't. I don't want to." From then on, she started walking with her grandson in another yard. One morning, Paula woke up with a headache. She washed up and was about to have breakfast when the doorbell rang. "Veronica's early with Danny today," she said aloud, heading to the door. But standing there was her ex-husband, Ethan. She barely recognized him. The youthful sharpness was gone. His face was lined, his hair thinned, and his jacket hung loose on his bony shoulders. His eyes were dull and tired. "Paula. I just thought I'd stop by," he said softly, shrinking under her gaze. She noticed he carried no bag, no suitcase. Scouting the territory, she thought bitterly. Aloud she asked, "What happened?" As he undressed, she noticed the dirty collar of his shirt. She felt a pang of pity. His young wife had worn him out. He'd misjudged his strength, aged before his time. "Why gloat?" she told herself. "Life's punished him enough. He's not a stranger, after all. We share a daughter, a grandson, a past." Ethan caught the compassion in her eyes and immediately started whining. "Paula, I'm not well. She's a good girl, but too young. She wants fun. I can't keep up. I'm tired, I can't sleep, my stomach hurts. Can I stay here for a while?" he asked finally, looking at her with pleading eyes. "Stay," she said after a pause, "but on my terms." She couldn't throw him out like a stray dog. "Anything you say, Paula," he said eagerly. "I can do everything now, even cook oatmeal without lumps," he added quickly, catching her stern look. She sighed. You pity stray cats on the street. How could she not pity this man she'd spent decades with? A grandson is wonderful, but you can't discuss pensions and politics with a child. "Hungry?" she asked, and without waiting for an answer, went to warm up some soup. She made up a bed for him on the narrow couch in her daughter's old room. That night, she heard him sighing and turning restlessly. In the morning, she got up early, boiled the kettle, and cooked oatmeal. Ethan still hadn't come out. Sleeping soundly. Is he even alive? She wondered, going to check. When she reached the couch, she understood at once. Ethan was dead. She covered her mouth so she wouldn't scream. Like an old animal, he had come home to die. She called the ambulance, then her daughter. The doctor said it was a blood clot, instant, painless. Paula buried him properly. A week later, while walking with her grandson, she saw a young woman by the building entrance, holding a checkered market bag. Paula knew immediately who she was. "Are you Paula?" the woman asked. Paula said nothing, only studied her closely, the young wife of her ex-husband. Not beautiful, but striking. "I brought Ethan's things," the woman said, handing her the bag. Paula stepped back, silent. "Where is he buried?" "I didn't dare come to the funeral," the woman asked quietly. "I don't need his things," Paula replied. "He's buried at the new cemetery." "I sent him to you," the woman said, eyes downcast. "I saw how he missed you, how he suffered. Why did you take him from his family in the first place? Didn't you know his age? What did you expect?" Paula asked. "I just wanted to be happy," the woman whispered. "I'm sorry. I have to go, my daughter's coming home from school." She walked away quickly, still carrying the bag of Ethan's belongings. Paula watched her go, with pity and something like sorrow. Ethan was gone, there was nothing left to divide. The resentment faded, like a fire dying under the rain. "I'm the lucky one," Paula thought. "I have a daughter, a grandson. And I'm still alive, after everything. We all made our choices, and we all got what we deserved." She took Danny's hand and led him to the sandbox, cheerfully telling him about the big sand cake they were going to make together. First love rarely survives time. Late love tests age. The wounds never disappear, they simply stop hurting. And if you can speak of them without trembling, without tears, then the past has truly buried its own dead.